Welcome to the Monday edition of the Snews here at LonghornStation.com. With Ahmad Brooks, I'm Jon and Danny from the Wake Up Call, and we had a lot of things on a Monday. Usually Mondays are power-packed. A couple of things that stood out really interesting. We'll get to the beer sales at the Irwin Center just a little bit later, but first we got to focus on that hockey. Where were you when it happened, and are you now a hockey fan for life?
Well, I don't know if I'm a hockey fan for life, John, but there was certainly some intrigue here. And for any athlete, for any fan, anytime you see someone display heart and moxie the way that the U.S. men's national team did against Canada, I mean, these are the big boys. This is the Brazil of soccer. This is America of baseball. This is USA of basketball. These are the big boys, and USA went head-to-head with them. And that third period, the way that they fought and the pressure that they put on there at the end to finally get that goal with 24 seconds remaining. And, of course, Sidney Crosby ends the game 7 minutes in with a fantastic goal. And he is the next great player. I do believe that. I know a lot of people are comparing him to Wayne Gretzky, and I think this young man will accomplish a lot. So just to have it there, to be in Vancouver on that type of stage, by far, I haven't watched a lot of hockey, but people who have are calling this one of the greatest hockey games of all time.
Now, I'm a cynic. Age will do that to you. But I will say this. I would have initially thought that if we couldn't collectively come together as a nation after 1980, the Miracle on Ice when they beat the Soviets and then ultimately took down Finland for the gold medal, if hockey can't take off after that moment, something we still talk about 30 years later, what's different now? That's the cynic in me. But to be fair, I will say this. Back in 1980, we couldn't tune into television and see Mike Eruzione or Jim Craig play their next game.
That's very true.
It was just over. They didn't have NHL players on that Team USA. These guys do play, and in fact, you can tune in to a station this week and watch the very guys you rooted for this weekend play their next outing, whether it's with the Buffalo Sabres or with the Washington Capitals or whomever. Also, the NHL now has a semi-television contract, which they didn't have back in 1980, where you can watch it. Cable was not that big a deal back in 1980. ESPN was formed in 79. So that tells you how long ago this was. But now, if you want to see hockey, you can see hockey. And I think that's the difference. Now, we'll see. We also have good AAA hockey action here with the Texas Stars. We'll see what happens with their attendance. You were sold. I remain cynical, but we'll see what happens with hockey. It was still a great performance by Team USA. Beer sales. While Ahmad was captivated by the hockey, I was intrigued flipping over to see Syracuse and Villanova on Saturday night. Not that it wasn't a big game. It's Big East, and it's a great conference. I knew it was going to be a big game, primetime Saturday night. What was amazing to me was that the Carrier Dome could pack 44,000 people into that building with 2 feet of snow outside on a Saturday night, and we can't sell out the Irwin Center. I'm just stunned by that. I realize that's a basketball school, but the conditions were not perfect. Parking can't be... It's got to be a nightmare for 44,000 people, put it that way. Those cars did not get there. There were considerable hurdles to get there, and I'm wondering, I saw a bunch of people with cups of beer. And I thought, well, I wonder if it's because their basketball is more of a social event. It's a day-long thing, and it kind of morphed into a discussion about beer at the Frank Irwin Center and parking at the Frank Irwin Center and what exactly would it take to make the Frank Irwin Center more inviting so we could get 15,000, 16,000 for a men's basketball game when we get 100,000 for football.
John, you bring up an excellent point, and this is something that I think a lot of Texas fans and people who just follow college sports are concerned with. We've gotten several emails. Susan in particular said that she thought it was a bad idea. I personally think that beer sales will increase the brand of the product. You're already selling it on the premises. As one caller actually mentioned, he says you have these clubs you can go to and drink alcohol. What's any different than opening it up to the general public? I think that's fair. And if you say there's going to be chaos, all you got to do is, Texas OU is chaotic for football, but it is still under control. And if that environment is under control, I'm pretty sure here at the Irwin Center you can keep things under wrap.
Yeah, and I'm not, personal responsibility. I don't want somebody to tell me what's good for me and what's not good for me. Either make the beer accessible, and it's my responsibility to drink responsibly, or not. Last time I checked, nachos and little miniature pizzas and jumbo pretzels are not really good for you, but there's no problem selling that stuff to me. And sometimes I don't know when to say when. I will have 3 pretzels.
3 hot dogs.
Yeah, it just happens like that. So, join us tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. for the wake-up call on the Longhorn Station, AM 1300 The Zone.